Everyone. Welcome to IT Tech Talk. I'm your host, Joel Ward, and tonight I'm actually going to be going over an episode I actually just recently talked about, but I want to create a video of it to post to YouTube. So everybody knows, those who know me, um, know I have two businesses. I have an IT business and I have a marketing and web development business that also does graphic design on the side. And a lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, I've never heard your business," but one of the things that I have realized is that the clients that do know me, know that I am semi successful, and I have really worked hard to obtain my success, and I have pushed to obtain success. And it's one of those things that people are like, "Well, how did you get successful? What did you do?" And I know I answered this in my episode, but let me talk about it again. So the one thing I've realized is I put people over money, and that's been my premise on this channel and um my podcast. So if you haven't heard the podcast, if you're tuning in now, like please, if there's a subscribe button, I don't know, I can't get on Apple Podcasts for some reason because I have Macs and stuff, but if you can go on the YouTube channel, like, subscribe, all that stuff. But no, one thing I realized is I put people over money. And when I did that, I actually found I was a lot better off. People received me better because I was actually more interested in them as a client, and them, just how they were, and I was always like, "How have you been?" Like that. I treated them like a person instead of as a money cash flow income, or an income. So yeah, so that's one of the things I can say. And another thing I can say is the way I obtained success, I didn't really understand it at first. Was I chose to do this all on my own, and I felt more humbled when I started out with no capital. Uh, no capital. I worked hard. I pushed myself. I didn't really try to boast about my success. And then when I got bigger, I started telling people like, "Oh my goodness, like, it's not that hard to start a business. It's not that hard to do this, but it is tasking because you have to focus so hard on everything. You can't just um do this and it magically appears to do, happens. Business is not something for everybody. And I've seen people who are like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna start a small business." Okay, do it. But then when you do that and your small business fails, you're like, wow, it's just because people didn't like the product or they complain about the people. No, it's not the people. Sometimes it's you. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes it's you. It's not because your product was bad. It's not because you didn't market enough. It's not because, sometimes it's because you treat your customers horribly. And I have been in actually a store recently, and I'm not gonna name names, but I was in a store locally, and the person behind the counter who was the owner just was so nasty with people coming in, and they were just like they were getting irritated, and they've been in business a while, and they were getting irritated with people um asking them questions like it was a problem. If you are in business and you are frustrated and angry at people because of all the questions of your product or your service, I'm sorry, you shouldn't be in business. Because the fact is, if you're going to be angry with the people that are coming in and buying into your product and buying into your service and really excited to try something new, then I'm sorry. Nah, you shouldn't be in business. Because when I saw people leave and didn't buy something, and I guarantee you, if I walked up to them and said, why didn't you buy something? And they would have said, because I didn't feel welcomed. I didn't feel accepted. I felt like I was attacked there more than I was, and that's the problem. Choosing money over people and choosing the fact that you're more, I'm better than everybody, that's a problem. You have to humble yourself and be like, I'm sorry, what can I do to fix this? Or what can I do to help you? That's what you need to be. And one of the things that I have realized, and one of the things I'm doing as a business owner, is I try to humble myself. I try to put, like I said, people before money. And I try and make sure the client feels 100% welcomed and accepted every part of the way, as far as As far as being in my coming and asking me for help, like I've had some people ask me like, tell me like, oh my goodness, like your service, like I was really happy with it. I was satisfied. I didn't feel like I was being attacked. And I asked one of his clients one time, I said, why do you feel like you're attacked? And they said, oh, I had this guy come in to fix my networking, and he just got so angry and was tossing things around and yelling the whole time and at his phone. And I was like, well, did you pay him? And they said, oh yeah, we paid him, but we didn't hire him again. And that's the thing. That's the thing, guys. If you cannot get yourself together and provide a good service and show yourself as honest and calm, and some people are off put by that. And this is an honest success thing. I'm brutally honest about this, because one thing I've noticed when going to places, I actually have been on the phone with several business owners, and tech people, who are in the area, and have been very successful, and they have a high success rate. But um, whenever I talk to them, I just get like, especially the one guy. Okay, let's go to example is IT guy. Now, not my one friend. My one friend has this really great IT company, and he's doing really well for himself. He's got big clients. This other IT company that's right down the road from me. Um, they when I walked in, the employee was rude with me, gave me an attitude about how I asked him the question, and he said, "You didn't ask it right. You need to ask me again. What do you need?" Then when I called his boss, and when I talked to his boss gave me a lecture on etiquette on how to ask IT questions. Now, mind you, I'm an IT professional myself. So I walked in as a joke, basically, because I knew what the problem was. I wanted to see if they could fix it for the cost. I wanted to see what they were going to charge me. Now, here's what he charged me. He was going to charge me. He said it is $50 an hour on top of $100 fee at the end in case it runs over. Now, he said it would take 4 days to fix. Do you know how long it took me to fix? And I'm an IT professional, and I've done this for so many people who have called me the same problem. It took me an hour. He said 4 days, and they were going to charge me start charging me for those 4 days, an hour each day. So it was going to be like a couple hundred to almost $1,000. And I was like, no. Now, my service, my company, why we've been so successful, why we're not that successful, we've been really doing really good. We charge $75 an hour, and we try and get it done within that hour. We don't want to charge more. We don't want to charge less, but we want to get it done relatively quickly. And same with marketing. We when we charge our clients, we want to charge them for the time we've worked on it, and we want to make sure it gets done fast. We don't want to hold it longer, because we don't want people to think like, when you hold something and you're like, get it done within 3 days, and you get it done within an hour, and then you charge person for 3 days, that is bullcrap. I get so angry when I hear so many people say, my product was, you fixed this in da time, or you worked on this in da time, and yet you're charging me for this. I get it. You need to pay for your time, but if you only worked an hour to a day on it, and you're charging more than that, that's a problem. That's going to turn people away. And this person has big clients. This person I'm talking about has big clients within the city where I live, and their reviews are up and they're down. What I mean by that is people like them, and then there's other people who've been like, I got ripped off. Like, they were nasty when they came out to install something. They were rude when I went to their shop. They were rude. And my problem is, if you are hiring, that's the other thing. We want to talk about this. I got to talk about this hard. When you're hiring people to work for you, if they are rude and disrespectful to your customers, you need to fire them, because one, that's bad rep on your image. And I have I've been very careful on who I hired in the past. Now we actually now run the company with me and my 4 partners, and yeah, we don't hire anybody anymore. We try and keep everything internal. Now, we have contractors that work for us that do side work and stuff, but they are paid on a basis when we need them. So yeah, there's that. But if you're paying employees and they're rude, I was in a candy shop, for example. I was in a candy shop one time, and if you're paying money over people, um, And the employee was I was checking out, and the employee up the counter was like, "Sir, if you're not gonna pick or buy anything, you need to leave." And I was like, "He's browsing to look for candies for his wife, but he's not sure what he's looking for, but you just told him to leave? You have that person as an employee representing your company. That's in my opinion, that's a problem. I would never, if I heard that as that owner, I would have fired them on the spot. Because you know what? If they're in there to browse, they're in there to browse. People window shop all the time. It doesn't matter if it's candy, clothes, jewelry. I've window shopped all the time. And maybe you're just in there to see what they've got. But the fact is, he was like, I'm looking for something for my wife, and that's not what she likes. And she said, well, if you're just going to browse, I'm sorry, but that's disrespectful. Again, you're letting your money cloud your judgment because you're choosing employees that are horrible just so you can get paid because you don't want people in your store that are just there to maybe look around. I'm sorry. I have stopped supporting businesses over that same fact. If you're choosing money over people. Now, I support a lot of big businesses like big businesses, clothing businesses and stuff that have been very money hungry, and they've chosen to rely on money over the people and customer service. But their clothing line is great, their product line is great, but it's this is the fact of the matter, people. You can't choose money over people. When you do, your services start decreasing and people stop liking it. Now, sometimes people still go to it. Actually, I've seen people who are like so dead set on the company that they'll just keep buying and buying and buying and buying, or the service, and they'll buy into it because they're like, I like being treated that way. I don't care. It's a great service. Who cares about what the employees say? I do. It bothers me when people are acceptance of employees who have are not good people. And it's just, you know, business to me has meant everything. Like, I've built a brand, I built a business, I built myself up, and I try, and whenever I'm out and about, I try and project myself just as my true self. And right now, I'm trying to be as vulnerable with you as possible because I don't want to be fake. I'm not trying to be fake. I'm trying to give you exact advice on what I consider success is. It's not being fake with people. You don't want to be fake with people. You don't want to choose money over people. You don't want to allow yourself to have bad employees. Especially if you're an online service, if you're offering graphic design, and you get something done for them, you do it in a nice time, and you don't complain later when they're like, well, I don't like this. I've had several people say, oh my goodness, when I you did my logo or something, or you had this done, it was great because you were communicating and you didn't get angry when I asked so many times to change this or that. They said, I've gone to people and they've gotten so angry because they were like, I don't you should like it how it is. It's like the colors are great. This is what you asked for. And that's another thing, people. You can't do that. If you're getting mad and you're a professional, and you are a professional IT, graphic design, web development, and you have a professional service, and you're getting mad because someone doesn't like something how it is, it needs to be changed. I had so many clients come to me and is like, well, you did the site great, but there's something I need to tweak, one thing. And that one thing was super easy. I fixed it. I didn't complain. I kept doing it. Or the graphic design, like someone's like, the color on this, I need the color change on this. And I get frustrated internally. I'm frustrated because I'm like, man, I spent so many hours on this, but I never voice it to them. I'm always like, no, you're the client, I need to get this done for you. So yeah, if you're a professional and you're getting really frustrated over the time it took, and you're like, well, okay, for example, one of my buddies explained it like this. When I actually explained my website development, like, oh, I did all this, and this, and this. No one cares what you did to get their product like it is. No one cared to how you put their website together. What they care about is results, and if you did exactly what they asked. They don't care how many HTML codes you had to write or CSS scripts you had to do. They don't care. They don't care how many times you had to change the color or move things around on their logo, or do all the pixelating things or whatever. They don't care. What they care about is, does it look good, and is it done? And that's all that, when my buddy said that, I was like, man, but all the hours I put in this, I like to explain to people, and they're like, don't explain it. Don't explain all your coding. Don't explain all your time. Don't explain how you got that video to be so crisp. Don't explain it unless they ask. Now that's the one thing. Unless they ask to it, they're like, how did you get this done? If they're curious and they ask, then tell them. But don't seriously just go. You don't like how what you don't like it. You don't like what I'm trying to tell you what I did. No, people don't need to know. They don't need to know. They don't care. Now, I get upset about that because I was like, oh man, I spent all these hours building this site, and I really want to tell you what went into the hours and stuff, but no one cares. Yeah, so no, like seriously, if you're offering a service, please be calm, collect, and just accept the fact that they are going to have questions. They are going to need something changed. Um, Products, services, anything, customer service, just be as best as you can. Even if you own the business, make sure your customers are feel welcomed, accepted, and happy. Same if you're in professional online stuff, doing designing stuff. You're a professional web developer, you're a professional photographer, your stuff. They're going to be like, I don't like how that photo is done. I don't like how that video is done. That site needs tweaked. They're going to do that. And it's going to happen regardless. You just need to accept it and move on because they're going to want it perfect for themselves. And it doesn't matter how long it takes, you're going to get it done because you're getting paid. If you're getting paid an hourly rate to do this, you need to accept it. If you're getting paid a flat rate, still accept it. Because one, if you're rude and disrespectful, someone's going to go somewhere else and they could go to someone like me and they'll be like, hey, I heard you do this. Can you give it a try? I just want something done. And then they're like, wow, your service was great. And this person did this. And I'm just like, yeah, I've heard that. And then it's like they complain. I've had people complain to me about locals in the area who have done horrible service to them. And they end up not paying them. And they told them they weren't going to pay. And the person was like, well, you have to pay me. I did the service for you. And they're like, no, I didn't. I'm not accepting it. And they came to us and we ended up fixing the problem for us and for them. And yeah, they were satisfied, they were happy, and they were like, wow, the service was great. You were so kind, and you were you were efficient, and you were fast, and you got back with me whenever I needed it, and you contacted me when it was time. That's what being a good business person is. That's what being a good a professional is. You just are calm and collect. You can't treat the client or customer like they're dirt. um so tips, and I'm gonna see if I can put them on the screen. If I can't, well, well, that's whatever. I don't know if I can. Actually, I think I can. I'll try and put. But one, be like people over money. Good customer service. Um, just listen and accept the fact that they're not gonna, you know, um, they're not gonna want to hear every detail how you did it. So yeah, so that's basically the show tonight, guys. And I know this is just a one-on-one, but I, I have been having people ask me about my success and why, what I did to do it. And I always say, literally, and I know I'm repeating this. I've repeated it a lot. People over money. I'm serious about this. People over money. You can't go wrong there because if you choose the client over getting paid. Now still need to get paid, but if you choose over the fact that you're getting a big paycheck from this, you will be much better off. People will accept it better. And I have realized that when I provide a service and I'm like treat them like they're a king in my presence, they accept that and they give me compliments. When you just treat them like dirt and want to get paid, they're going to go somewhere else. They're going to come to me with something like that. They're going to go to someone more professional than me, or yeah. So if I'm not offering the same service, they're gonna go somewhere else. But yeah, um, so yeah, just people over money, great customer service all across the board. Treat people with respect. As a business owner, be looking out, making sure your employees are well trained and they treat customers acceptably. Because if you have a complaint and you say, whatever, and you sweep under the rug and you let the employee continue doing that, you're going to lose business. And I've actually realized some of the people around here actually go to a different place now that's in the same kind of business in town because of that same situation. I've had several calls about IT because of the IT business. So yeah, it's people have to be your main focus. You cannot be focused on anything else. If you're focused on other things and you're not focused on the people that you are serving, you're gonna have a problem. So Yeah, so tune in. We're gonna have this is gonna be the show. The show's gonna be on and stuff, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try and not do this regularly. I'm gonna try and do this every once in a while. I kind of want to just have guests on my YouTube channel, but I might just have myself get on every once in a while. So please tune in. Check the links up somewhere right there. There's gonna be several videos I've had recently posted. I don't know which ones, I haven't decided, but they'll be posted up there. You can check them out. So tune in a couple days. I should have a new video up about of the models should be going back on. I had on my show recently. I should have a couple new guests coming on. Justin Simpson, for all those who know Justin Simpson on my show before, he'll be coming on to discuss more about SpaceX Starship and stuff. So definitely tune in. There's some great content coming. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Please stay safe out there. I hope to see you in the next one. Stay tuned for more content. So thank you so much for tuning in.